The connection between Georgie and Mandy will always be difficult, and it's not only because we know it will collapse in the end. This show does a great job of being humorous while also delving into the reasons their marriage doesn't work, which makes some of their arguments all the more heartbreaking despite how funny they are. In the fourth episode of the first season of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, the couple dealt with the challenges of having an age gap and the importance of having friends and acquaintances, how to maintain social connections, and how age matters for Mandy's life outside the home. While caring for a young kid is a challenge that Georgie and Mandy faced, and it remains a problem for parents in the year 2024. With the exception of Mandy's lack of a smartphone to keep in touch with Georgie, the story may have happened in the present day. I nearly missed that it is a nostalgia piece. Georgie, strangely enough, had no problem remaining home and visiting with Mandy's folks. At first, it was just Mandy who was acting irrationally. We all know that Audrey still disapproves of Georgie and views him as a young boy compared to her daughter. But playing games with Mandy's parents lets him feel accepted. Another benefit of playing bridge is that it allows Audrey to satisfy her competitive side, which in turn makes her less likely to dislike Georgie and more likely to enjoy him. Mandy, on the other hand, needs a break from being a mother and wife, and the fact that Audrey irritates her only makes her want some distance even more. When Georgie learned that her new closest friend had a boy of the same age, I felt terrible for her. It made her feel even more self-conscious about the age difference between them, which will continue to be a problem until Georgie is at least 25 years old. Nobody will notice that he's a few years younger than his wife when that time comes, because the age difference will have faded by then. While Audrey doesn't perceive Georgie as an adult quite yet, she's not alone in this perception. Other women Mandy's age see Georgie's age gap even more pronounced. Her friend probably had a baby when she was young and can relate to Mandy's unintended pregnancy, since Mandy isn't that much older. The fourth episode of Season 1 of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage does a good job of showing how uncomfortable it is to socialize when there is a significant age gap. Every time it comes up, it's even more embarrassing for Mandy because she's humiliated by how unusual it is to everyone else. She finds it much more normal for Beth to have custody of her son, who is a teenager following a contentious divorce, than for her to become pregnant with a 17-year-old boy whom she mistook for older, and then marry him when he reached legal marriageable age. For some other reason, socializing was equally challenging for Georgie. His daughter's birth and his father's death have made him considerably more responsible, even if he isn't much older than Todd and his pals. Because of that, he became old enough to desire to go dirt biking with his pals, which sparked a touching and humorous conversation with Mandy, who thought it was too risky. After Georgie urged that they go out, Todd's responsible side came out, but that interaction did more to highlight the challenges of the age gap than anything else. In the fourth episode of Season 1 of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, Georgie was correct when he said that the kids shouldn't drink and drive. That PSA did a fantastic job of getting its point across without being overbearing. The conversation between Georgie and the children was the obvious catalyst. Being both a teenager and a father made it even more clear that he didn't entirely understand them. It was a sobering reminder of his current life stage that he had to tell the youngsters not to call him Mr. Cooper when he took them home. Georgie is having a hard time finding his place, because he is caught between the worlds of adulthood and adolescence. A fair subplot involved Mandy's brother, Connor, who was appreciated in Episode 4 of Season 1 of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Connor wasn't just a punchline. He had a whole comical backstory. Although it was nothing major, it was fantastic. In his trademark Connor fashion, he insisted on playing 20 questions and included inquiries like, "Are you sure we're going to have any idea what you're talking about?" Among the questions, even though it was frustrating that he never disclosed the name of the mysterious object he was contemplating, this side narrative did improve his character development. Now, it's your turn. Georgie and Mandy. What's your opinion on the fourth episode of Season 1 of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage?